It's so nice to see some familiar names. Please remember to keep all of your cameras off. And remember, the chat group is for questions and answers only. And please only type your answer once, because some of you are bombing the chat group still when you type the same answer over and over and over and over. Please don't do that. Okay, so we have finally reached the end of week 6 for grade 4 English first additional language. Can you believe it? So for today, I thought we can do a little bit of language revision, because like I said, I know you guys have done it before, but I think it's always good to just go back and recap on some things, because we might forget it along the way. And remember, we also like to use our language in our writing. So yesterday, speaking about writing, we went through a writing activity. So we spoke about the writing process. So that was doing your planning, which I hope you started in our lesson yesterday. And then I asked you to write your own story. So I hope you guys got going on that, because I'm excited to see what you give for me. So remember, if you want to share your story with me, please send me an email. So you'll find my email at the end of this lesson. So for today, we're going to look at recognizing the K and S sound words. And then we're going to look back on some adjectives, because remember in your writing exercise yesterday, I did ask you to use adjectives to make your writing a lot more interesting. So if you're wondering, what am I talking about when I say K and S sound words? Remember guys, cameras off please. I know we're all excited to see each other. So when I'm speaking about K and S sound words, that is because some words don't sound like they're spelt. So you'll see now what I'm talking about. So when we have words that have the letter C in it, the C can have two sounds. So it has your K sound words. So like the word I've got here is clock. So when I say clock, it doesn't sound like a C. It sounds more like a K. Even though it's not spelt with a K, it just sounds like it's got a K. And then my second sound was the S sound. So like city sounds like it has an S instead of a C. So we're going to look more into some other examples so you can see. But the way I found that it makes it a lot easier for you to recognize which sound belongs to which group is to actually say the word. Because just by looking at clock or city, you won't know if it's a K or an S sound. You actually have to pronounce it. Because remember, some words have a hard C, like my clock, or they have a soft C, like my city. So you can hear the ones hard and the ones soft. So let's have a look at a spelling rule. So I don't know if you guys want to jot this down, because it is a good rule to remember to use from now on. So it says, if the letter after your C is an I, E, or a Y, the letter C will make an S sound. So remember that. So like my word city, city had an I after the C. So it sounded like an S. instead of a C. So I hope just by me saying the words, you can already hear the type of sound that it makes. Then the next rule says, if the letter after the C is an A or a U, the letter will make a K sound. So like my example I used with clock. So even though it didn't have an A or a U, it had another letter from the alphabet. So it sounded like a clock. So let's look at that with some more examples so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So like I said, city starts with a C. It has an I after my C, so it will make a S sound. So I say city. But then my next picture I've got is cupboard. So can you see after my C, I have a U. So it will sound like a K sound instead of my C. So it's also like if I say I'm going to drink a cup of coffee. Sounds like you have to spell it with a K. But we all know cup is spelled with a C. Because we're all good with spelling. We're in grade 4 already. We know these things. So quickly jot down those rules because we are going to use these when we do an activity together in 2 slides. So if the letter after the C is an I, E, or Y, the letter C makes an S sound. If the letter after the C is an A or a U, so like in cupboard, the letter will make a K sound. So if you just joined us, we are busy looking at K and S sound words. So these are the rules we have to follow. So I'm going to give you a few more seconds and we're going to look at the next rule. Okay, are we ready to move on? Remember, if you do miss out, this will be on YouTube, so don't stress. All right, so the next rule we're going to look at involves the K sound word. So if the letters after a K, so now if we spell a word with a K, R, I, or E, the word will then keep the K sound. So an example I've got is cut. So there you can clearly hear that cut has the K sound. So I think that is probably easiest out of all 3 of my rules. So quickly jot that down. And then we can do an activity together to test how well you can spot a K sound or an S sound. So when we do the activity, I do want you to use the chat group to give me your answers, okay? Because it'll be easier for me to read and then we can put them in the right places.
Hi guys, let's just give a moment. Mammy's just coming back on board. Just please be patient. She'll be back in a second. Just be patient, guys. Ma'am will be back in a moment. Thank you.
Sorry, grade fours. My computer decided to kick me off. But hopefully I'm back on now. Okay, let's just get my presentation back. Where are we? Sorry guys, just fighting with my laptop. I don't know why it's freezing. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I know. Technology throws us off here. Okay, so we were going to have a look now at our K and S sound words. So we're going to put these words that are in black into either an S sound or a K sound. So I want you to read the words yourself now. So just quickly read from scent to key, and then I will read through it with you. So read it and see, can you decide which column it will go into? So I want you to see, because remember it says you have to read the words below and put them in the S sound column or the K sound column. So scent, cycle, kettle, kitten, corn, clock, circle, computer, cereal, and key. Will I put them in the S sound words or the K sound words? So that's why I say you need to actually read it to yourself and say the word, because that will help you to hear the sound. But remember the rule as well. That's why I told you to make sure you write down your rule. So are you ready to sort them out? So when I've got the word scent, is it an S sound word or a K sound word? So just tell me S or K. Okay, good guys. Yes, so if you read the word to yourself and you said it loudly, you can very clearly hear that scent belongs to the S sound words, because it sounds like a S. So if you say scent. Now, what about cycle? Is cycle a S or a K sound word? So remember, if you're not sure, say the word out loud. Good. Yes, it's easy to hear it, isn't it? Especially if you read it out loud. So if I say cycle, it definitely sounds like it's an S sound word. Now, how about the next one? Kettle. Yeah, that's an easy one. I'm sure we could tell right from the start. It's a K sound word, because you can hear that hard K, kettle. What about kitten? Yes, it's easy peasy. So kitten, again, is definitely a K sound word. So you can hear that K. Now what about the next one? Corn. So even though it's spelled with a C, what does it sound like? A S or a K? When I say corn. Excellent, guys. You are good. You can see your ears are working. So corn belongs to my K sound, because you can hear it's got that hard sound. And clock. Oh, you guys are fast. Excellent. So again, clock, you can hear has that K sound. So it definitely goes to K sound column. What about the next one? Circle. Oh, I can see you guys know your words. Okay, you obviously did well in school with spelling. So circle definitely has an S sound. What about the next one? Computer. Wonderful. Yes, you are all getting it correct. So computer also has a K sound. What about cereal? Oh, you guys are too good. Yes, it's a S sound because it sounds like cereal. And my last one, key. That's way easy, isn't it? So now this one goes in the K column. Because you can just hear key has got a K sound. So now do you see from those words I gave you, we've actually got more K sound words than S sound words. Strange, I think it just luckily landed up like that. Okay, so now that I know your ears are working, we're going to move on to our next section. So we're going to have a look at adjectives. So we know that adjectives describe a noun, but there's so much that it can describe. So if we start right at the top here with this green triangle, adjectives can tell us how many we have. So I can have 5, I can have several, I can have a few. So I can say I packed several apples in the bag, or I only ate a few apples this week. So we can give an amount or a number. So if I look at the red heart, it can tell us what color something is. So remember the story we read about Jenny's puppy? She described his color. So she first said he was black, but then what color did he actually turn out to be? You can remember the story. Oh, we're thinking hard. Good, yes. So he was actually brown. So adjectives can tell us a color of something. They can also tell you the size of a noun. So if it's tiny or huge or average. So like you guys would be tiny compared to your parents. Or maybe you have a tiny house and then there's a huge house. So it can tell you the size. It can also tell you how something feels. So if you're to go outside and touch the bricks, it might feel a bit rough, crackly, hard. But if you had to go and touch a soft puppy or a soft pillow, so you can describe how it feels. You can also describe how something sounds. So like when you guys are playing outside and you're excited, you can be very loud. Or when you are busy with your homework, it must be nice and quiet. We can also say how something looks. So we can say if it's pretty or if it's ugly or if it's shining. So we can also describe the look. And then you can also describe how things behave. So if they are fearful, so if they're scared of something, if they're annoying, or if they're kind. Yes, they can also be good. So all of these things are what you have to think about when you use adjectives. So I know adjectives are easy, but they have lots of different parts. So we're going to use it now. So on the next slide, I want you to tell me what you think of this cat. So describe this cat to me. What are the first words that pop up in your mind when you see this cat? Yes, so he's definitely soft. He's definitely cute. What else? Let's think maybe how he sounds, how he feels, what color he is. So remember all those different questions you have to ask. Yes, you can say he's brown. You can say he's a kitten. So maybe he's not a cat yet. He's got some gray in him, yes. So maybe he's a happy kitty. He could be a grumpy kitty. He's got some black and brown, yes. Good. Oh, yes, he's got nice green eyes. You guys are really looking hard, eh? How would you describe his whiskers? Yeah, so he's got nice long whiskers. He's also got long white whiskers. Good. Nice. Oh, and he's got a pink nose. Yes, I love that one. Good. So I'm just going to show you a few words that I thought of when I first saw this picture. So the first thing I thought was he looks lazy because he's lying down. So that's the first thing I thought. And then I also thought, oh, but he can also be what? Cute, like a lot of you thought. So that was my first thing. Oh, he was so cute. That was my thought too. Then I thought, oh, he looks stripy. Because can you see he's got some stripes on his head? And then I also thought he looked soft, like a lot of you said. So if you could imagine touching this cat, he would definitely feel soft. I said he looks fluffy, because you can see he's got lots of long hair. I said maybe he also looks sleepy. So maybe he's not lazy, maybe he's sleepy. And then I said he's even maybe a clever cat. Oh, I love that one, adorable. That's an awesome word. And then I said that he was brown. So there's lots of ways that you can describe just one single noun. Isn't it amazing? Tired, yes, maybe he is tired. So you see, just by using adjectives, you're already adding a lot of interesting facts about one noun. So that's why I said to you yesterday, I want you to try and use them. Good. You guys are very good with adjectives. You think of ones that I didn't even think of. Oh, exhausted. Wow. So that's another word for tired, yes. Well done. Bored, I like that too. So he could be bored. So I want us now to practice our adjective skills. So those of you who were with me last week, do you remember the story about the crow and frog get the wrong message? So we're going to do an activity based on that story. So we're going to use these pictures to help us answer these sentences. So they say, look at the pictures and fill in adjectives to describe these nouns. You can only use each adjective once. So once we've used a word, we can't use it again. So we've got scribbled, small black, brown, big green, little, silly green, and yellow. So remember, we're going to use the pictures to help us put the words in the correct sentence. Because there might be some words that can work in both sentences, but we can only choose one. So let's start with the first sentence. The what hen went shopping. So how can we describe hen? Which word am I going to use? So I've got scribbled, small black, brown, big green, little, silly green, and yellow. Okay, I've got two answers. So remember, we're looking for the adjective that best describes hen. Yes, you guys are getting it right. So I can say the little hen went shopping. Because if you've actually seen a chicken or a hen in real life, they are very little. Now, once you see, he's going to get number 2 right. The what frog? So how can we describe the frog? Oh, so some of you are going with big green frog. Remember I said there might be 2 adjectives that you can use, but which one is the best? So we've either got big green or silly green frog. So which one are we going to go with? Which one sounds a lot better? I see some of us are torn between the 2. So remember, Frog was trying to help Crow figure out the message, but they got it wrong. So the best way to describe my frog is that he was a silly green frog. Now what about number 3? And the what crow found her? So how am I going to describe Crow now? So the what crow found her? Good, guys. Yeah, so remember looking at the color of the crow and the size. So we can definitely say the small black crow found her. So how did her shopping list look like? Was it scribbled? Was it brown? Was it big green? Or was it yellow? So how can we describe Hen's shopping list? So remember, we've already used little, silly green, and small black. So those words are gone. We can't use them again. So Crow found her what shopping list? So I've only seen maybe 3 or 4 people get the answer right. Because remember, we can't say it's a yellow shopping list. Because is the piece of paper actually yellow? So that's a no. So I'm going to say they found her scribbled shopping list. Because remember, she just wrote down letters. She quickly wrote it on. So it was like scribbled. Okay, now we're almost there. Number 5. So they sat under the what tree? So now this other adjective is going to come into place. So they sat under the what tree? Okay, this is an easy one now that we've used the other one. Yeah, so they sat under the big green tree. And they were wondering what the letter meant, because they remember trying to decode the letter. So now for number 6 and number 7, we're going to use the picture on the bottom left-hand side. So now it says, Mother Hen walked past with her what basket and her what scarf? So what color was her basket? Yes, good. So this is easy to see because we've got the picture in front of us. So she was walking past with her brown basket and her what color scarf? I see a few of you already got the answers. So she's got a brown basket and she's got a yellow scarf. Good, guys. And then she saw the two creatures trying to read her shopping list. So that was just a short little summary from our story last week. So if you missed it, please go back on YouTube and watch it. It was quite a nice story we did together. Okay, good job. So you guys are actually impressing me with your adjective skills. So at least I know when you write your stories for me, you are going to put in amazing adjectives. So remember, it's Mother's Day this Sunday. So I know we can't just go to the shops and buy mom something nice, but it might be an amazing idea to write your mom a thank you note. Because if you think about all the stuff your mom's had to do for you this last month, I'm sure there's a lot. So write her a lovely thank you note to thank her for everything she's done, and add adjectives to describe how much you love her. So if you want, you can make your note in the shape of a heart. You can write with big, beautiful colors. And then for your homework for practice, so I thought this was just something nice. And if you want, you can even share your Mother's Day note with us, so we can see how much you love mommy, because it's nice to share the love. Then as your homework for today, if you look on the Africa Teen Geeks website, boys, cameras off. Thank you. You're going to practice some adjectives. So I've given you a paragraph about Tara's treetop adventure. And you're going to find adjectives in that paragraph for me, and you're going to underline it in blue. And then at the bottom, you've got your K and S sound words. So very similar to what we did in the lesson today. You're just going to put the words in the correct column. So I hope you guys had a lovely lesson with me, and please don't forget to share your homework with me, because I do love seeing how hard you guys work, and it makes me feel so proud that you guys want to share your work. So today is unfortunately my last lesson with you, because I need to go back to my school and start getting ready for my kiddies. But you have got my email address and you've got my Flipgrid account. So you can always share your work with me and send little notes. I really don't mind. But I will be checking up on you guys, because I am going to use the YouTube Live to watch your lessons and make sure that you are working. So even though I'm going, I will still be watching. Okay, so don't stress. I am still around. I'm not going forever. And I will miss you guys lots and lots and lots. Okay, so I'm going to say a big goodbye to you guys. I have enjoyed my lessons with you so much, and you've been an amazing class. And I'll definitely miss you guys too. I'm seeing lots of no's. It's been awesome. Thank you guys. So I'm going to say bye-bye. You guys have been amazing, and I hope you're going to be just as amazing with your new teacher, okay? I will check up on you guys, don't worry. Okay.